This is an attempt number 2. I just shot a video giving a tour of the Phoenixdale Library. If you can hear a grinding sound, for some reason my cat is chewing on the tripod. Let's see if I can't get her to stop doing that. Stop doing that. She's probably going to keep doing that because she does what she wants. At any rate, for the tour, of course, Dr. Graybo has lane limited 1Q in it. Struggling to light it at the moment, so I'll just concentrate on. Stop chewing. Figured I'd concentrate on the tour and not so much on the pipe. However, I would share something because I did mention this pipe a couple times now. Curious pipe for me. I did not look close enough at it when I bought it. I may have made a different choice had I done that. But it's growing on me, this particular pipe. I don't know anything about grades. I don't know anything about, why something might be the case. When I bought it, I just thought I was buying just a pipe, just plain pipe, but you'll never see it. You might. But there are leaves on it. It kind of surprised me when I opened up the blister pack because I didn't look at it nearly close enough, and it came with these leaves. It also came with this kind of a diamond plate cross-hatched pattern on the top there. Don't know why it's there. Maybe it's there for a good reason. But it's a couple of things I noticed when I bought it. I never thought to look. As I was saying, my initial intent was to shoot a video concerning Dag Hammarskjöld's markings. And as I thought about it, I thought, well, the second video, I've introduced myself. And really, I'm not ready to do justice to that book. Too much has been written in it by my mother. Clearly too important just to gloss over in terms of how she responded to that particular book. So I'm going to read it. I didn't intend to read it. I was just going to talk about it, think about where to put it. It's always good, I think, if you come from a family of readers and if you yourself are a reader, to read what other people have read, and especially to at least take a look at some of what your mother or your father has read and found important. So, that's what I'm going to do. Then I will talk about Hammarskjöld. So, the tour. Just going to start right about here. That's the stairway downstairs behind me. So we'll just go 360, see what's up. First thing I would point out, I can't. There he is. Wittgenstein. My degree is in philosophy, and I did a thesis on Wittgenstein and Michel Foucault. So these are my guys. My wife knows this, bought me the picture, and goes where I go, Also, if we pan over slightly, there's a painting there. That is a local artist who I've collected a little bit. I really respond to his themes. And they vary. His name is Greg Langham. He's from Indiana. He's a good guy. I haven't seen him for a long time, but I really love his paintings. So they're always going to show up. If I'm shooting a video and I'm not in the library, you may well see different Langhams in the background. If not, become fairly familiar with these Langhams in this background. And sometimes I switch them out. So one might go away, another one might come in. So, starting down here. As a rule, all of my bookshelves are Billy bookshelves from IKEA. They're given to me by my wife. But this one comes from when I graduated college. Has kind of followed me along. So it's the one that's going to look a little bit different. On it is a series, a science fiction series that I hope to talk about from time to time. And it's Terry Pratchett. It's Discworld. The interesting thing is this series very quickly moves from science fiction to, I believe, literature. Science fiction is literature, but literature proper, particularly the character of Death, as far as I'm concerned. He builds a great deal of humanity into that particular character. In a funny way, it's a lot like Data from Star Trek. This desire to be human, to struggle with human thoughts and emotions, but not being human, always to be somewhat separated from it, and longing to join the human race. So it's a wonderful series. So hopefully at some point we'll talk a little bit about Terry Pratchett. So come around the first mess. Got to figure out what to do with this particular shelf. This has all been recently constructed, so I hauled these books up, and I haven't had time, because of life, to really put any kind of order on it. And at 52, temporarily unemployed at the moment, I have a chance to do something with it. So I figure I'm going to take that opportunity. That's Ralph. Ralph, there, usually has gifts of small chocolate. However, I've accepted all of Ralph's gifts of small chocolate, and I have to buy some more. So, no chocolate for today. Here, moving around to this tall shelf. This shelf is philosophy. It is currently arranged in a historical way, ranging from the Greeks in the bottom up into the contemporary philosophers at the top. But I need to work on that one some more. I mean, we've got the French in there doing things from World War II, and the Germans and the English. By and large, you have the continentalists and you have the analytics. How am I going to group them? Am I going to group the analytics together? Am I going to group them by country? Theme? Don't know. So I have to take a look at that and get everybody where they need to be. The small shelf here, set of shelves, that is primarily reference. I opened this door, the cat's going in. So I'll bring that down. That way we can all watch the action. She probably won't do it because she left. But at any rate, I keep my journals in here. I have various encyclopedias, dictionaries in here. But between my father and his mentor, when my father died and gave me his books, he gave me his Kierkegaard. And he gave me his mentor's Kierkegaard. And I had my own Kierkegaard. And so now I have the definitive collection of Soren Kierkegaard in Homer City. Probably not Indiana. Indiana University of Pennsylvania is up there, so I'm sure there's a better collection of Kierkegaard up there. But as far as Homer City is concerned, I'm the man. So, my little writing desk that I refinished, it came from the family of my father's mentor. The man who brought him into the ministry. I don't know if I pointed that out. The Lutheran ministry. Took some time to refinish it, modernize it. It's a school desk. It pulls out, and it still has its inkwell in it. So I really enjoy using it for writing and reading. Coming around, kind of enter the space where I do a fair amount of my reading. The small image here, a little hard to see, but you can see better. The last time I shot this, it was completely flooded out by the light. It's a portrait of me from when I was a child. My mother did it. Apparently I'd been playing with some trucks and completely absorbed in it. And so she took that time that I was sitting there playing, and she did a pencil drawing. And it goes with me wherever I go, you know. Of course, flag of Pennsylvania, given to my grandmother by the then governor, Democratic governor, for being the oldest voting Democrat in the county. Not in the state, but in the county. And when she passed away and the flag came to me, I decided to take it out of its box and to hang it up. I like the Pennsylvania state flag. I think it's a good looking flag. So I like having it out and being able to sit and look at it. Nighttime in Pennsylvania. And until I can get my chair up here, this is where I do my heavy reading. And my light reading, too. And occasionally sitting around with the cat when she doesn't want me to be reading. This chair was given to my mother by my grandmother when I was born, it turns out. I didn't know that for a long time, but I was rocked in this chair by my mother. And now I sit in it and I read. It's about as rickety as I am. I need to get it glued up, but every time I glue it, it finds a way to start coming apart again. So I just sit in it and enjoy it until I can get my other chair up here. As you can see, Eureka Kitty is making her appearance. Would like some attention. She's never that needy when I'm not doing anything. But yes, here we are. Yes. Yes. It's Eureka Kitty. She was a stray. She was underweight. And we got her fed up on some canned tuna, etc. Got some weight on her. She's kind of the library familiar. There's another Langham that we're coming into. I have it there. I like this particular theme. I like the delta, the change. So I brought it and up here and I put it there so I can look at it. And because at 52, my life has been changing quite significantly lately. And I feel it more being 52. Or in my 50s, I guess I should say. Losses are bigger. Gains are bigger too. It's not all bad. Underneath it is a painting done by my stepdaughter. She gave that to me. So it gets pride of place. Right next to the chair. As we come around, down to a little corner shelf. I don't really use it for books. A couple of special things in the box and the key for the clock. It's my grandmother's clock. Windsor chimes. I know some of you, I've heard Windsor chimes in the background, so be familiar with it, obviously. Coming around, I had to change sides there for a second. And behind me, kind of special series of books in here. Harry Potter is in here. Top shelf here, first set of books. When I worked at Walden's, these were their offers. Classics, H.G. Wells, Homer, Edgar Allan Poe is up here. I collected those when I was working there. Worked there for a short time and made no money. I walked out of there flat broke with a lot of books. And these were for a long time they were kind of misplaced. And they appeared again. So up there they went. Next to it are Barnes & Nobles. More special offerings. I don't have quite as many of those. I tried not to spend all of my earnings at the bookstore buying books. I was marginally successful with that. Here, these are all things I'll end up taking out, looking at more closely. Here's a series of books that came to me from my father. They were my childhood books. They creeped me out. Something terrible when I was a kid. And I did my best to always ignore them. And when he knew that he would pass away and he brought me books, they were in there. And kind of forced to make friends with these books. So I'm kind of trying to develop that little relationship with these books. And I read them from time to time, and they're still creepy, though, as far as I'm concerned. But I'll talk about those at some point. Of course, under that is my shelf of sin. Yeah, got my Jägermeister in there. My whiskey's in there, etc. Pipes on the other side. And yes, I think we can classify that as somewhat on the sinful side of things. Below that, the red and the green, those are my Loeb libraries. I have my father's in there, mine in there. I have some of his book plates and those books in there. The green are Greek. The red are Latin, Roman. And both the English and the original is in the book. Harvard Press, beautiful, academic, well-translated texts. Coming around, history, religion in there, biography. It's a hodgepodge. So I'll have to be dealing with that at some point. As you can see, I'm wearing a bowler, a Coke hat. Show real quick. It's a Christie's. For those of you who have an idea of what that means. I bought this thing close to 20 years ago when I started shaving my head. I just knew that I would need a hat, and that the hat that made sense for me was a Coke. So I got online, I ordered one, paid both an arm and a leg for it, but I've worn it ever since, and it's been worth whatever I had to pay for it at the time. Don't even think about that. So we have mythology in here as well. So I have to deal with this shelf. One of the interesting things, I will bring out these books for that. This happened a couple of times. This has happened a couple of times. Get 2 copies of books, and this was fascinating because you had my copy and my father's copy. So I know at some point he bought the same book that I did, same copy. So you get a chance at some point in your life to see where you are similar to your parents. And the more I look in the mirror these days, the more I see my old man looking back at me. I guess while I'm showing that kind of thing, I will show this real quick. It's kind of interesting because I discovered philosophy in high school. I went into biology, but I discovered philosophy, and I should have stuck with it. First, yeah, there they are. Give me a second here. Yeah, when I was a senior in high school, the first philosophy book I'd ever read. 25 years later, father stops by. My first philosophy book, same as his. Wasn't his first, but you know, again, you're walking in the footsteps of your father or your mother, not realizing it, till it's too late in some sense, in some ways. Okay. Cursory tour. I had to ditch the last one because the voice track somehow got separated from the visual. Now I was going to put it up, but after a while it just annoyed me to the point where I thought, nah, this would be too annoying. So I shoot it again. So hopefully I've done a reasonable enough job, just as a cursory introduction to the space that hopefully I will do in most of these videos in. I share a little bit about my Dr. Grayball. Which brings me to, I don't tend to collect. I don't like to collect. But I'm going to start a collection. Themed. Kind of fascinated by the Peterson Dracula pipes. And I think that I'm going to take up a small collection of literary pipes. Dracula pipes, Sherlock Holmes pipes, J.R.R. Tolkien, pipes in literature and intellectuals. So I will start a collection with respect to pipes, and that's going to be it. So I have to think about which one to do first, which one to try to get between jobs. So some of the prices are a little dear, but yeah, I think it would be fun to start collecting something like that. So I hope this was not a profoundly annoying experience to try to sit through. Hope you enjoyed my cat. There she is, talking, walking around, wondering why I'm doing what I'm doing. Everyone, you have a good day or evening, wherever you happen to be. And I will see you again. Okay, bye-bye.